why don't we pull up Bobby Witt Jr.'s 2024 baseball savant page? And why don't we look at some of the categories on the offensive side of the ball, on the defensive side of the ball, and on the bases. So his 916 OPS is good for 14th best in Major League Baseball. Okay, that's pretty good, right? That would put him in, some would say, the top 15 in baseball. What percentile does Bobby Witt fall into in these offensive categories? Expected slugging, 98th percentile. Expected batting average, 100th percentile. Expected weighted on base, 98th percentile. Bat speed, 91st percentile. Hard hit percentage, 94th percentile. K rate, 82nd percentile. The only areas where he might falter is swinging outside the zone and a little bit of swing and miss. The strikeouts may be a touch higher than where they could be, but luckily, it's something that you can fix and work on the offense. What you can't fix and work on is hand-eye coordination. You can't fix and work on barrel percentage. You can't fix and work on speed. At least you can try on some of those categories. But with strikeouts and swing and miss, that's something that is probably the most fixable of anything in his game. So on the offensive side of the ball, he's got a 14 batting run value. That's 94. He is hitting the ball hard. He's hitting the ball hard consistently. He is slugging. He's getting base hits better than anybody. He's getting on base. He's not striking out a ton. His range and outs above average this season so far at 10, that's in the 100. His arm strength is in the 78th percentile. That's pretty darn good at a premier position as shortstop. Oh, and his sprint speed is in the 100th percentile. I'm going to go out on a limb right now and tell you this time next year, it will be definitively true. And he's on his way up to this milestone and marker in 2024 already. But this time next year, we will be talking about Bobby Witt Jr. as the best player in Major League. I went ahead and said it. If Shohei Ohtani doesn't end up contributing at a high level on the mound, I think Bobby Witt Jr. this time next year. Let's put it this way. First of all, Bobby Witt Jr. is already a top 5 player in Major League. Already. Right now, today, somebody said, oh, this is the question. This is what I was getting at. Okay. You always see the question posed on sports media, the question put out in the air in a lot of different sports, but especially more recently, I see it. You've got to pick one guy. You're starting an expansion team. You're starting a franchise. You got to pick, of the current players, one guy right now to start your team with. Who are you taking? The answers come out of all different parts of the league. Like Trout, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Yordan Alvarez. All these guys are great. They're all really good players. I'm not sure there's really a wrong answer, but I'm telling you, my answer to that question, one player, I have to pick him and start my franchise with. I'm taking Bobby Witt Jr. And honestly, I don't really think it's close in my consideration. 23 years old, top of the league in bat to ball, top of the league in slug, top of the league in speed, top of the league in defensive range. He plays a premier position. He's signed to a pretty comfortable team-friendly contract. And I think this time next year, Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be in the conversation of best player in baseball. And if Shohei Ohtani comes back, tries to pitch for the Dodgers, turns out it doesn't work out very well, or he starts games, but he only starts, for the back half of next year, or only pitches 3 innings at a time. And it turns out that Shohei Ohtani on the mound just ultimately, doesn't really end up providing them a ton of value. They want to keep him healthy, so he turns into just a hitter. I'm taking Bobby Witt Jr. as just a hitter over Shohei Ohtani. Now, if Ohtani comes out and pitches like he has in the past, or, that's a whole different ballgame. That opens up a can of worms. And of course, that would put Ohtani way above Bobby Witt and anybody else in terms of best player in baseball. But offensively, I take Bobby Witt over Ohtani. The only other guy that I could potentially rival with Bobby Witt Jr. in terms of offensive production is Mookie Betts. I think Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Bobby Witt, those are the top 3 offensive players in the entire sport of baseball. The differentiating factor and that question that gets posed about which guy do you choose to start your franchise with, Bobby Witt's 23 years old. He's 23, and he is tearing the cover off the ball. And he's so fast. All he does is steal bases. He plays a premier position at the highest level of anybody in the sport. I don't know how you don't go to Bobby Witt and go, that's the guy I'm starting my team with. Yeah, Mookie plays short too. He's been a little bit shaky this year. He's a great athlete. He's what, 30, 31? No disrespect. He's an unbelievable player. Bobby Witt's 23. I'm starting my team with Bobby Witt Jr. I have to pick a team or pick a player rather to start a franchise with right now today. Nashville MLB team expansion franchise. And I'm the GM and they go, one dude. You got to pick one dude and then we'll build the team in a different variety of ways. But you got to pick one dude and you can have him with the current contract state he has to start your franchise with. I'm going Bobby Witt Jr. And I just don't think it's that close. I don't. Bobby Witt Jr. is unbelievable. I just want to make sure everybody understands because the Royals have been bad for a long time. They're in the middle of the country. After they won the World Series, they've done nothing but kind of start to fade outside of the national spotlight. They didn't really have the star value that they had in the past with those World Series caliber teams. And it's just a very pass-overable franchise. Probably not a word, but you get the Kansas City, AL Central, bad division. I think everybody needs to just kind of restructure their thought process when it comes to the Royals as a team, but more so specifically, you're going to need to reach because they've got, I believe, the player that will end up being the best player in baseball year to 2 years. Bobby Witt Jr. Oh my God, he's so good. He's so fast. He has an unbelievable arm. He hits the ball hard. He hits the ball hard consistently. He slugs. He runs the bases. He is the definition of a perfect ball. 23 years old. Guys, when somebody profiles like Bobby Witt Jr., size, 6'1", super fast, plays shortstop, typically you're like, okay, yeah, he's going to be a great player. He's a good athlete. You know, type of guy that probably finishes his seasons with, 18 to 20 homers, kind of what he did in his rookie year, right? 20 home runs, 30 bags, 722 up. He had no, he had 30 homers last year. No, he had 30 homers and 49 stolen bases. No, like Bobby Witt Jr. can put up the same or better offensive numbers that Ronald Acuna can, but he plays unbelievable defense at a premier position, arguably the hardest position on the entire field besides catcher. To get this kind of production from a player like Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop 3, I'm telling you guys, I'm taking him as my pick for, I don't even know. He's going to be the guy in the next year to 2 years where people are like, oh my God, wait, Bobby Witt just went 40-40? Like easy? Sure did. Dude's a savage. It's unbelievable. He's an absolute monster.